1 year ago, I left my life in Nigeria to come with my husband in South Africa, who has been here for a while, and it's been 1 whole year and counting. And I just want to share with you my experience and how that journey has been. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here. If you are new, welcome. My name is Libby Afolabi, and I film content on faith, marriage, and my life in South Africa. If you're interested in any of this content, do well to click the subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you know when I post a new video. If you end up enjoying this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It goes a long way in helping my channel. Thank you so much. Some 9 months ago, I did a video on culture shocks that I've experienced in South Africa. So in this video, I'll be continuing on those culture shocks, or I'll say more about those culture shocks, or the more culture shocks that I've experienced since living in this country. I've lived in this country for 1 whole year. Like, it's been a lot. I've experienced everything in this country. I've laughed, I've cried, I've been in between, and you know, one day we'll share those stories. So I hope that you stick with me for a while. But in this video, I'm going to be talking about culture shocks that I've experienced in South Africa after living here for 1 whole year. So if you're interested in this video, definitely keep watching. At the end of this video, I'm also going to be telling you if I'm happy being here or if I want to leave. So stay till the end of this video to know my answer. So the first shock on my list is the tipping culture. I'm aware of what tipping is even before I came to South Africa, even though it is not a thing in Nigeria. If you buy something or if a service was well done for you in Nigeria, you can decide to tip the person anything extra, but it is nothing mandatory. It is not a culture. But in South Africa, tipping is actually a culture. In fact, I think it goes more than being a culture. It is obligatory. If you legit go somewhere, you are being served and you don't tip, I'm not even sure what will happen. I'm sure, of course, you won't be beaten and you won't be jailed, but I'm not sure it is normal practice because we have never done that. Like, we would always tip, especially when you go to eat in restaurants and all those things. We would always tip, except it is a self-service restaurant where you serve yourself or where you do things yourself. But if somebody is attending to your needs, it is obligatory that you tip the person. It is obligatory that you attend, that you give something extra to, you know, the person attending to you. And it's just weird because, of course, I know that these things are normal in the West, but in South Africa, I'm like, why do we have to do that? Like, why? And they even give you like percentage. You cannot do less than 10%. That's just wild. My whole bill is 400 rands and I need to pay an extra 40 to, you know, tip somebody that has attended to me. But it depends on how you're looking at it. Sometimes you'll be like, these people will get paid anyway. It depends on where you're looking at it from. Because when you look at what they're getting paid, you see that it is not really self-sufficient. So it's just your way of helping, extending and helping hands to another person. So that's fine. But it was a shock, or it is a shock. Sometimes, you know, when I do self-service or when I order online and they're like, yeah, would you like to tip your delivery man 10 rand, 30 rand, 40 rand? I'm like, no, I'm not tipping anybody. Please just deliver my item. You know, so yeah, that is a shock, or yeah, it is still a shock. But that is something that I'm learning to deal with, but it's fine. It's not anything outrageous, right? But tipping in South Africa is more than a culture. It is obligatory. You have to tip, right? Next thing on my list is the credit system that exists in South Africa. I think I've talked about this in one of my videos, but it is a real thing in this country. Like, you can hardly get anything done without having a credit system. And in Nigeria, it is not like that. We like to pay for everything in full. There was one time I was in an Uber and the guy was telling me, he found out I was Nigerian, and he was telling me how he doesn't like Nigerians because he doesn't like Nigerians because they like to show off. And I'm like, what do you mean they like to show off? It's like they like to pay for everything they buy. I'm like, yeah, people should pay for what they buy. I mean, he's like, no. You want to buy a phone because you can afford it, you pay for it at once. You want to buy a house because you can afford it, you pay for it at once. It doesn't make any sense. The Nigerians are proud people. I'm like, bro, I understand you, but it is because of where we are coming from. It's not our fault. In Nigeria, when somebody drives a Range Rover, you can be sure that they paid for that Range Rover in full. If they are living in a mansion, you can be almost sure that they paid for that mansion, like they paid the money, or they built that house with their money, right? But here, it is not the same. Somebody can be living a flashy life on credit. Yeah, you have to get on it because you have to have good credit score to access some things. Imagine that you want to buy a house, you will not be able to access mortgage if you don't have a good credit score. And the way you can build a good credit score is to buy things on credit. They want to be sure that, you know, when they give you this money or when they give you this loan, you would pay back. They want to be sure what your behavior towards paying debt is, right? So that is why you need a credit score. So you have to start from the little things, like maybe you pick up your phone on credit, or maybe you buy your car on credit and pay back in the time frame that you have told them that you would pay back, right? So it is a thing, but really Nigerians left the charts because we just left the charts because it is not what we are used to. But I mean, we are learning, because at the end of the day, you want to be able to access everything that the government or the society has to offer you, right? So it is one thing that you have to get on. You have to be able to take things on credit. One common behavior amongst Nigerians that I've met in South Africa is that even if they are going to take it on credit, they still pay like bulk of the money and then they leave the rest to pay on credit. So take for instance, your car is worth like 400,000. Of course, you are taking it on credit, but you pay like a down payment of 200k, then you tell them to put the remaining 200k on credit. That is just what we are used to. But it still serves the purpose. It still means that you pay the 200k on credit and that counts towards your credit score. So it's a thing. If you want to access mortgage in future, which is a really common thing here, you know, you can just be a young family and buy a house because you have a good credit score and you can pay back, right? So it is something that you have to do, whether you like it or not. So yeah, that is one shock, or that is something that I'm getting used to. So another one is taxes. You guys, this is the real Nigerian left the charts because it's just mind-blowing. I'm like, what? Like, why do we have to pay so much? You know, when I just came, I used to be like, oh, this country is so beautiful, like everything works, or almost everything works, because not everything is working. I've learned to see that not actually everything is working, but to a great extent, everything works, for a lack of better word. Right, so I'm just usually very impressed. The road networks are good, like the infrastructures are amazing. I'm just like, oh, this is a government that is working. Da, 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 da. But then I got to know about the tax bracket and everything, and you know, firsthand, I experienced it firsthand when I see, you know, how much my husband's salary is and how much it takes home, and I'm like, why are we paying so much? Like, why are we paying so much? Because in Nigeria, where I came from, I was earning. And let's say you earn, if I earned 100,000 in Nigeria, my 100k was less 5%, and that is my take home. That was the highest. I don't know how it happened. I don't know what they were doing. I didn't even care because it was small money. So it wasn't something that we even pay attention to, or that I paid attention to. And I'm sure that most people don't pay attention to it because I mean, it's small money. It's not anything. It's not that serious, right? But here, the higher you earn, the more money you pay to the government, and it's just insane. So I'm like, you know what? These things they better work because we are paying for these things. They better just work. I mean, it's mind blowing. It's insane. You know when you get like increment in salary, and you're like, oh yeah, but then you think about it again, and you're like, maybe it's like 2,000, 3,000 rands different from what I was earning before, because the more money you earn now, the more money you pay in taxes. Yeah, that's another thing that we are dealing with. So that's another shock. Like that's actually it's a big shock, and there is nothing you can't go back door. You can't. You have to pay it. You can't. Nah, there's nothing you can do about it. You have to pay. Another thing is appointment booking. But this one does not apply to everybody because it depends on where you get your services from. But I'll explain what I mean. So I remember one time we booked an appointment to get our vitals done, and they gave us an appointment for 11. So African time, right? So we got there around past 11 or so. Then when we got there, the lady checked. She asked us if we booked online. We said yes, we booked online. So she checked. She was like, your appointment was for 11. Why are you just coming at 25 past 11? I'm like, still the same. And she was like, sorry, we'll only be able to attend to one person, blah blah blah. And I'm like, just take both of us. It's not that deep. But no, they're not going to take you unless there is another slot that is free. They're not going to take you because they're like, you missed your appointment and that's on final. So rebook again. If you find another slot, you can book for that slot, and you have to be on time for that slot. Even my husband, where he goes to cut his hair, he needs to call before he goes, because when you go there, even if they're on break, they won't attend to you because they're like, they didn't give you the appointment. I'm like, this is not a problem where I come from. Like, you go anywhere, anytime you choose to go. Even if you are going to queue, even if you are going to wait on the line, nobody will turn you back to say, oh, you didn't book an appointment. And apart from maybe spa treatment and, you know, those exotic places, every other place, you don't need to book anywhere. Just walk into any store, walk into any shop, walk into any hospital, you get the service that you need. But here, you need to book appointment. But thankfully, they don't penalize you if you miss the appointment. I have not been penalized. I've not been asked to pay, you know, some value, some rand value because I missed an appointment. So that's a good thing. But they'll turn you back. They don't care. They'll turn you back. So yeah, that's a shock. The last thing I have on my list is the weather. I know I've talked about this countless of times. Even in my vlogs, I talk about how it's just really cold. Like, it can just be really cold. It is in this country that I learned that you have to have warm clothing, light clothing, and all those things. Like, we don't used to care. The worst that can happen in Nigeria is that you have a cardigan for rainy season and a raincoat and an umbrella. But here, from the type of clothes to the type of shoes to the type of pants to everything, you have to put it into consideration. And I mean, this is April already. It's getting cold already. I think we are approaching winter and all that. So yeah, that still comes as a shock to me sometimes because I'm just like, why am I cold in my own house, right? Maybe after 2-3 years of me being in this country, maybe I will think otherwise. But yeah, that is still a shock till date. So I think I've come to the end of this video, and I know that you're waiting to know whether I'm staying or I'm leaving. But I'm pleased to let you know that I'm staying. So maybe I'll do like a 2nd year anniversary in South Africa. But yeah, it's been a ride. It's been a ride. Like, I've had good times, and I hope that, you know, it continues to bring me all the good tidings. Amen. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Remember that we don't leave hurtful comments in the comment section. Don't leave hateful comments in the comment section. If you don't have anything nice to type in the comment section, don't bother, because if you do, I'll delete it. Okay, so just save your time and don't do that. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Till next time I come your way, I hope that you do well, and God bless you. Bye.